Hi, this is Tim Chrisman with the Foundation for the Future, and you're watching Tim's Tuesday, where I, Tim Chrisman, get to talk about whatever I want for about 5 minutes because it happens to be Tuesday. And today I want to talk about how a ship parallel parking in the Suez Canal relates to space infrastructure investment. Now, if you've been on a long camping trip, a meditation retreat, or otherwise just not been looking at the internet, you may not have known that a ship driving test went wrong in the Suez Canal last week, and one of the largest container ships in the world was stuck at one of the places in the Suez Canal without a passing lane. This caused a backup of several hundred ships, billions of dollars in lost productivity, and as of last night, still no traffic going through the Suez Canal. So, how am I going to relate this to space infrastructure? Well, it is not about how there should be passing lanes on the way to space, but if you came up with that all on your own, then we can probably be friends because you were pretty clever. What I want to talk about is how there is an interrelationship between investment in space that is extremely vulnerable to the sorts of things that caused the backup at the Suez Canal. Right now, investment in the space economy happens one of two ways, either through government financing in the sort of long-term projects that NASA and DoD fund. These are often multi-year, multi-decade projects, but the funding for them is subject to the whims of the political process. And so as we've seen with the Artemis program, with the Webb Space Telescope, and SLS, these are projects that government is perfectly fine with them taking decades. It's just you're not going to know what the money situation is going to be year to year. The other track is venture capital. This money is much more certain. You have a set amount of money as part of the deal, as part of the investment round, but is exceptionally impatient. VCs, by their nature, need an exit, and so results and returns have to be delivered on that timetable. Now, both of these are vulnerable to shocks, to freak accidents, to setbacks that can start to freeze up the capitalization for the other. So if there is a decision by the government to slow or halt investment in certain projects, that has a downstream effect in the venture capital, slowing or halting investments there. Likewise, if VC investments go spectacularly bad, government may relook the sorts of projects it's doing, and some may become politically unpalatable. So what we at the Foundation for the Future are advocating for in front of Congress is the creation of a third lane for financing in space. Infrastructure investment here on the ground has such a third lane. It's known as infrastructure private equity. And these funds combine the patience of government investment with the certainty of venture capital, allowing for long-term losses to be taken on capital-intensive projects that will start to generate a return 10, 15, sometimes even 20 years after the first investment started. These sorts of funds don't exist for space because of the risk involved in space travel, in the space economy at large. And so we're advocating that the government create a corporation with the express purpose to unlock this infrastructure private equity through a combination of bonds, loan guarantees, and other incentive programs that would ultimately fill the gap between NASA and Space Force in terms of the types of investments it makes, and fill the gap between government and VC in terms of the quality and source of capital provided. You can find out more about this on our website at f4f.space. That's Fox4Fox.space. Again, this is Tim's Tuesday. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next Tuesday.